India has again recorded more than 160,000 new COVID-19 cases over a 24-hour period. It's now overtaken Brazil as the country with the second highest number of infections in the world. Yesterday it recorded almost 170,000 cases in a single day. The surge could also put more strain on global vaccine supplies because India is the primary supplier of the WHO's COVAX initiative. Let's get a live update now with our correspondent in India, Rebecca Bundun, joining us live from Mumbai this lunchtime. Rebecca, always good to speak to you. So is it still the religious and political rallies that are driving the surge in infections?
That certainly seems to be a factor, and the worry is that this will now feed into a further spike of the virus. We're already seeing these alarming numbers, more than 161,000 cases recorded in the past 24 hours, according to official numbers. And at the same time, over the past couple of days, we've had those holy dips taking place at the Kumbh Mela, which is a large religious gathering, a Hindu festival and pilgrimage that's taking place on the banks of the Ganges in the northern state of Uttarakhand. And there, hundreds of thousands of people have been gathering, and people have not been observing any safe COVID-19 practices. It's very clear people have not been social distancing, they've not been wearing masks. So that's really worrying that that could actually even add to more and more numbers coming through. And of course also those large election rallies that have taken place as key state elections have been held. And there again, people not observing COVID-19 appropriate behaviour. So this has been a widespread criticism that the government has allowed such events to take place during this surge in the virus, with India now the second worst affected country after the United States in terms of its total caseload. And the state of Maharashtra, which is where Mumbai is located, is seeing a lot of these cases coming through and really feeding into those numbers. More than, or about a third of all of the cases in the country at the moment, in terms of the new active cases in the past day, were recorded in the state of Maharashtra. And at the same time, this state is seeing a shortage of vaccines that it's reporting, a shortage of the drug remdesivir. State authorities are saying that some hospitals are being overwhelmed. So there are strict curbs that have been put in place in the state, including a partial lockdown during the week, with shopping malls, cinemas, religious places of worship being closed. And at the weekend there's a full lockdown. And now there's talk of potentially a full extended lockdown coming into place in the state of Maharashtra, where Mumbai is located, because of this surge in COVID-19 cases. And other parts of the country have also put in restrictions. For example, in Delhi, there's a night curfew, in Bangalore as well. So really, authorities are trying to tackle this surge in the virus, but at the same time, there are events taking place that seem to be only adding to the numbers.
Just on that point then, why is it that the government is allowing the religious and political communities to continue to gather unsafely, given the soaring numbers?
That's really a big criticism that many medical experts are asking the same question. The public are also asking. And when you see the visuals of people gathering at the Kumbh Mela on the banks of the Ganges, for example, it's really quite shocking what you see, that number of people coming together. And many are asking, why is something like that allowed to go ahead? And in terms of the election rallies, there has been a warning from the Election Commission on that. But what's notable as well is the fact that even the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, has been taking part in such rallies, the Home Minister, Amit Shah, as well, where people can be seen gathering and not following COVID-19 guidelines. So there seems to be that political element there as well. And of course, this is a Hindu nationalist government, which could be a factor as well. Some people say in terms of the Kumbh Mela Hindu festival being allowed to go ahead. But really, these are concerns that are being very widely raised at a time when these numbers are continuing to hit very high figures. Again,
very briefly, Rebecca, we know that the vaccine rollout in India has hit a bit of a delay, a bit of a snag, but I'm wondering if with these rising numbers, hospitals are now able to cope, because the expectation of the vaccines is that they're able to keep people from becoming very ill and also bring down chances of death.
So the vaccine rollout in India, it started in January, that vaccination drive. It's been slower than expected. And obviously, a lot of hopes are resting on the vaccination drive. But there's really a long way to go. Like, things have picked up pace in the country, and more than 100 million doses of the vaccine have been given. But what's worrying is that some states, including the state where Mumbai is located, have reported shortages of the vaccine. So over the weekend, for example, Mumbai had to actually close private hospital centres that were giving out the vaccines. Only the public hospital vaccination centres were open. So that actually limited the number of people that could be vaccinated. The central government has actually denied that there is a shortage of vaccines. And at the same time, though, there is some positive news coming through. This week, the Indian government has, the drugs regulator has given approval, emergency use approval for Russia's Sputnik jab. So that could actually help add to the supply of vaccines. And today, the Health Ministry announced that there will be fast-track emergency approvals for foreign vaccines from Western countries and from Japan, potentially. So this could include vaccines such as the Johnson & Johnson one. So that could really help to speed up this vaccination drive in a country of more than 1.3 billion people, of course. So it's a big mission.
Okay, Rebecca Bundun, thanks as always, live for us in Mumbai, India.